Hernandez, Nikki, Piquette, and Sabrina Cantu. How's it going, ladies? Thank you for being here with us. How are you girls doing? I know it's trying times right now. I know y'all season would usually be, in the thick of it, or you guys will be training and stuff. Just how are you guys doing? How you guys been dealing the last few weeks, the last few months?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We're really happy to be here. I'm Nikki. I'm the league manager for the Bandidas. And yeah, we're doing good. As good as can be expected without being able to have any of our games or any of our practices. Obviously, the smartest thing to do right now is to not be, practicing. Roller derby is a game in close personal space. So we're not able to practice, but we're all kind of doing different stuff on the side to, keep healthy and keep strong until we can go back.
Yeah, I mean, anybody else? How you guys just been kind of dealing with it? How you guys have been keeping busy? Keeping in derby shape, derby form.
So there's a lot of cross training you can do, and I like to go to the skate parks. Sometimes I trail skate. So even though there's no contact with derby, we still have skating possibilities out there. Take my dog out on a little skate, make him walk me. But there's still a lot we can do. I had started Insanity for a bit. That was pretty crazy. I prefer hard hits and fast jukes instead.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a roller derby. As for those of you who don't know, it's involves skates, obviously, and it's a physical kind of sport, and it's not easy to pick up. I know you girls, Nikki and Crystal, are veterans. Somebody like Sabrina, I know she's relatively new to the sport in the last year. You guys, and Sabrina also, obviously, also you. How do you guys mentally and physically prepare for something like this? I know it's a grind. I know it's tough. It's something you guys really got to train at before you can get out there. And just what does it entail?
I think me coming in as well, we refer to it as fresh meat. So I'm fresh, and it's pretty much just in training to hopefully be able to play soon. I was aiming for this season, but COVID took my dreams away. Thanks for that, COVID. But I'd say coming in, it was very first of all, the endurance it takes, man. I knew I wasn't in shape to begin with when I came into this, but man, was I not in shape. Like I was working out, I was trying to lift and do those things. I was like, you know what, I want to get ready for this. And then I got there and it was like a whole different ball game. We have this thing called a 27 and 5, and I don't know how anybody survives it. Like, I don't know how else to explain it other than, oh my gosh, the amount of work it takes. And like me coming in fresh and seeing these veterans doing it, like it was nothing. And I'm dying halfway through. And the great part about it is that, they're all tapping you on the back, tapping you on the butt. Like, come on, you got this. When deep down inside, I'm like, you guys know I'm dying, right? Like, you're going to have to help me out here. But it's brutal. You have to, again, endurance, the running. We have to be running. These girls are skating all the time. I'm slacking. I'm sorry. But even the lifting, it's just that full body power you need. You need to be able to do everything. You need to be strong. You need to be headstrong. You need to think on your toes. Again, back to endurance. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
For sure. And Nikki, I understand you're one of a league manager or something like that.
I am.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. First of all, just tell me. There's probably not a lot of people. The roller derby scene. It's picked up in the last couple of years. I know it's been around for a while. I know this. You guys in particular were established 2015. I know there was the Rolleristas. I know there was like a merger. I know there was a bunch of stuff like that. Just just you guys and Crystal, feel free to jump in. I know you guys are also, you've been a veteran also. Just kind of tell us about the scene, about the state of derby and the RGV.
Yeah, so So we've been, so like you said, we've been a team since 2015, the RGV Bandidas. But prior to me being here, and prior to 2015, there were two teams that then came separate that came together. So we have been one team since 2015. We are part of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. So think of that as sort of the like the NBA for roller derby. It's like the overarching national league that roller derby teams can be a part of. We are a part of that, which means we're nationally ranked. We get to play. We get to play games for rankings, which is really cool. The only bummer thing about it is that it's not like the NBA where we get to make a lot of money. It's all volunteer. Everybody who plays plays because it's just volunteer. There's some opportunity to make money with like sponsorships or doing boot camps, but other than that, we all just play for fun. So, Crystal, you want to talk a little bit more about our league?
So roller derby is pretty much like skater run, skater own, meaning we do all our poster designs, we do all our social media, we do all our uniforms and purchase that. So we're constantly investing a lot in our hobby, and it's very much a passion to some, to most, and to others, it's just a way to get by through a workout, because it really is a challenge. People really think it's just you could just coast by playing roller derby, but no, we have to build it up and build each other up. So the Valley has a lot of skaters. Now we just need to bring them in to us and become a team. You guys want to videography, we need volunteers for that. You guys want to, build your portfolio of art, we need you for that. So we're always trying to recruit and we're always trying to build our team, but it really does start from people that barely know anything. I did not know how to skate at all. I got on skates and I fell in a second and was like, oh no, what am I doing with my life? But I just came from wrestling, so falling constantly was something that was nothing new to me. So being in so many sports in life and then seeing this very unique sport that you saw in a movie that is around you, you're like, yes, I'm gonna do it. So I don't know, it's really fun. I don't know, that's what I got.
Yeah, for sure. And here's the thing with that. I know in the last couple of years, and especially in the last couple of months, a couple of weeks ago, we just got off of a women's football championship game. That league, that's also picked up in the years, the last couple of years. But in that same vein, it just seems like this is also a sport that's very close knit community, very empowering. It really, I know a lot of people, a lot of the girls I spoke to at length with have found niches there, something to do, either whether it be a hobby or just found a place like in the world kind of thing. A lot of girls from different walks of life and a lot of different backgrounds. How did you girls kind of, what drew you there? What did you like about it? I mean, everybody's kind of got a story on what brought them to the dance. I mean, what brought you guys here?
Sabrina, you want to go first since you were the newest?
Go, Sabrina.
Yeah. For me, I had seen the movie we're referring to is Whip It. So there's a movie out there called Whip It, and I was like, oh my God, why am I not doing this? This is the coolest thing ever. But at the same time, I'm well aware that I have never been an athletic person. You know this. I'm a band geek.
Nothing wrong being a band geek. Just put that out there. Continue.
I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no way. These girls are tough. These girls, like, no, they're going to eat me alive. And also, when I had seen it, I was at this, time in my life where I was like, I knew I didn't have the commitment. I didn't have the drive for it. So I was like, I probably shouldn't do this. I don't want to go into something like this and just quit. And years went by, and then I met this girl. Her name is, I call her Spaghetti. Her name is Lynette. So Lynette is always fun and outgoing and out there and so loud. And I was like, wow, I really like this girl and her personality. So she was like, hey, have you ever heard of roller derby? And I was like, I have. And she was like, yeah, you know, we do it here in the valley, blah, blah, blah. So I told her the same story I just told you. And she was like, what's wrong with you? Like, no, girl, like everyone can do it. And if you can't, we'll get you there. Like, just come to a practice, see what's up. Well, I ended up going to a game. Within like the first 5 minutes, I looked over to my husband and my kid and I was like, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I know I am. And luckily, I think it was like 2 weeks later, the girls hosted like a little fresh meat thing. Well, we call it orientation. So I went to orientation and I was like, okay, this is something I want to do. And then I got there, and me being somebody who feels like I have somewhat of a hard time fitting in, you know, with the crowds, like I know I'm a little different. I feel a little different. Like, you know, I was looking for a whole different vibe. And at the same time, I was a little bit scared because I was like, these girls are going to judge me. That's what girls do. They're so judgy. Girls are so mean and I suck and they're going to laugh at me. And I got there and man, these women, they changed my life. They took me in, you know, arms wide open. Don't worry. You know, a lot of us didn't know how to skate. You're going to be okay. Like, look at you. And they were so, you're so pretty and we're all going to do good. And I can't wait to be, you know, on the track with you. And it was just very welcoming. And I had finally found a group of women that I felt were very genuinely welcoming. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't anything. Just, hey, do you want to be here? If you want to be here, we want you here, and we're going to grow together, and we're going to be together, we're going to play together, we're going to win together, and we're going to love together. And honestly, that's what sold me on roller derby. Like, that is what I fell in love with first. And I've traveled with the girls to their games, and everyone's like that. Every team, every fan, every person taking photos, everybody is like that. Like the roller derby community is so accepting. Like it's beautiful. Like if you want a place to be, come play with us. Like just come, anybody and everybody. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I mean, aside from my kid. I'm sorry, son.
Awesome. I don't even have to do a recruitment spiel now. You pretty much just did it for me.
Oh, well, there you go. Come on over.
No, but still, no, Nikki. I mean, I want to hear from you. I mean, just from somebody who was so close, and you're a manager in the league. Just what? I mean, just hearing stories like that. I mean, how do they compare to maybe why you came? I mean, just how do you guys all relate together?
Honestly, it sounds a lot like mine. For me, I started when I lived in Columbia, South Carolina. I moved there only knowing my one friend I moved in with. And within the first week, I saw a game just because she was going and I didn't have anything else to do. So I just went with her, and I hadn't done anything different or new. I had just finished school. So I hadn't done any new hobbies in a while. And I watched it and I thought it was crazy and it was so cool. And also terrifying. It looked terrifying. I hadn't been on roller skates in like 15 years at that point. But the roller derby community in Columbia was so awesome and so welcoming. And even though I hadn't started playing yet, they still just like welcomed me in just as somebody who thought it was really cool. And I just thought that was really nice. It was like going to a new place and having 100 new friends immediately. I thought that was awesome. So I talked to some of the other smaller players on the team because roller derby often has, bigger, there's room for everybody really. So sometimes, so there's certain positions that are really good for small little people. There's certain positions that are really good for bigger people. Obviously you get knocked around a lot. It's not just little people knocking you around all the time. Like there's really, really room for people who aren't teeny tiny. And that was really intimidating to me. So I talked to some of the smaller people on the Columbia team and they were like, no, it's great. Join. So I did, but I mean, I started from, like Sabrina was saying, the very bottom. I hadn't been on skates in 15 years. I went to 1 2-hour practice and then my whole body hurt for like 6 days until like the next week's practice. And then that week, maybe it hurt for like 5 days until like the next week's practice. I was like the poster child for somebody who was not in shape, not athletic, not a sports person. But now I've been doing it for about 5 years. There was a little off period in there, but so when I moved down here, I found these guys pretty much immediately, and I've been with them ever since for almost 2 years.
Definitely, congratulations. I know, Crystal, you're one of the trainers, so you get in there with a lot of these new girls. I'm sure you hear a lot of concerns and stuff up front from some of the new girls that come in. I mean, just how do you kind of deal with that? How do you relate to them yourself?
Well, every time we run a practice, we have to think about like our warm up, and we have to think what in our warm up can we do to be safe for when we do all those crazy drills. So being new, I try to tell everyone, like, regardless of if you get the trick or drill or not, just try. Why? Because you're doing more than what you did yesterday. So always compare yourself to your improvements, like what you did and what you started from to now where you're at. And it reminds me of when I was a fresh meet. I have to think back. I was 19 when I joined. I didn't know how to skate at all, and pretty much had to learn from the bottom up, like these girls as well. I did not know anything about my balance on skates. Like I could barely walk a straight line just walking. That's why I'm Panda. I'm clumsy. It's just, I wasn't meant to be on skates in my mind. But yeah, just going back to that scare that starts you off, and for to see other people like, dude, I promise I started just like you. Like just keep trying and keep trying. And there's that what's his name? I get knocked down, but I get up again. I forgot, tough thumping or something. And so there's that song that's in the back of my head. So there I am seeing them get knocked down and getting up and laughing and just rolling out of it and doing their thing and just looking majestic at the same time. I was like, I'm going to do that one day. I can't wait until I do that. So now being a vet and been playing for 7-8 seasons, it's hard to put myself back in that mindset. But at the same time, I know that putting myself there will improve them even further. Like, what's something that taught me how to do it? What's something that, I can compare it to? And yeah, trainings, if it doesn't come out right from my mouth and it comes out right from another trainer and it's just an aha moment with them, okay, now I learned a different way to train because she made it so easy in a second or two. So we're just learning off of each other and just trying to build up as much as we can.
Yeah, for sure. And whenever you do get these tight, close-knit communities into a sport like roller derby, it gives birth to characters. People come out of their shell. And one of the really things that I notice about you guys, you all have like the nicknames here, and that's the really fun cool about that you start to take on a persona, just something that's really close to you. I know Nikki's, yours is Netflix and Kill, Crystal, Pandamonium Doll, and Sabrina, Maverick Sorrows. Just how do you guys come up with this? I mean, what are they obviously some are obvious, some might be just an innuendo to something else, or something that's near and dear to you. How do you guys come up with these things? How do they reflect on you?
Mine is definitely near and dear to my heart. I'm just kidding. My friend Matt, who he plays derby in Columbia, or he did play derby in Columbia. His derby name is Donkey. He came up with it. He's always coming up with hilarious names, and he told me that one, and I was like, yes, Netflix and Kill. That's hilarious. That's like a perfect innuendo. It's also funny. So it doesn't mean it doesn't really mean anything.
All right,
I got my name because, again, I'm very clumsy, and I had a friend who was a fresh meat but had been playing maybe a month longer than I. And she's like, since you like pandas so much, why don't you call yourself Pandamonium? And I thought about it, and I was like, what does that even mean? Let me go Google it and find the dictionary real quick, because I don't know, right? So there I am, like, searching it up, and it says, like, an uproar and mischief and chaos. And I'm like, chaos, okay. I want to be an oxymoron. I want to be basically a chaotic doll. You have Barbie doll, you have this doll. Well, I want to be a chaotic doll. So yeah, I just decided to Pandamonium Doll and keep it there. And I introduce myself as Panda whenever I'm on skates. So small alter ego. And, you know, if I'm not on skates and I'm somewhere else, I'll probably say my name's Crystal, but it's really, really weird hearing people say that when I know them in the skating world. So, yeah.
Yeah, same. It's weird to be like in the skating world, as you say it, and then someone's like, Sabrina, and I'm like, me? And then at the same time, I'll have my teammate call me Sabrina, and I'm like, no, ma'am, that's not my name. Like, why are you calling me that? Are you mad at me? So I'm used to the girls calling me Mav. So like, it's weird. I don't know, but mine's a little dark. I'm sorry. You're about to go like down a dark hole right now. So Maverick, if you look in the dictionary, Maverick, the definition is independent and unorthodox. I'm sorry. So I like to think of myself as a maverick. And I mean, everyone wants to feel independent and, you know, their own person, a little bit unorthodoxy. But at the same time, being a maverick has its own sorrows. Like, you know, there's a whole nother loneliness to being a maverick. So Maverick Sorrows. And that's where I got it from.
No, definitely makes a lot of sense. And yeah, no, that's just that's really one of the fun things, you know, people create characters to people, you know, people take on personas and images, and that's really fun to see. And I know I've seen it. I know you guys really band together. I've been to one of the practices. I shot photos of you guys before. So like, it's really neat to see. But you know, what would you guys say to the communities to maybe, and I asked this to the football league also, what would you say to women, young girls, who may be on the fence, to, you know, to get them in? I mean, what would your message be to them?
All right, I'll go. I would say, and what I like to say to the girls who do join Fresh Meat is that the cool thing about being in a league like this as an adult is that, you know, when you're a kid and you go through high school and you go through a hobby and you get better and better and better, and there's a lot of pressure to get better and better and better, and that's the main focus, is just, you know, being the best that you can be in that thing that you're doing. But when you're in a hobby as an adult, there's so many other things going on in your life, right? Like, people have kids, people are in school, people have full-time jobs, sometimes people have jobs where they travel. There's so much going on. And so the cool thing about being in this hobby as an adult is that it's whatever you want to make it, and you will get as good as you want to, and as much as you'll improve at however much you can put time into it. But it can be whatever you make it, and we'll be here as a team for you either way. I mean, there's people who come to the practices not necessarily to make the team, but just to do a really, really, really hardcore workout twice or 3 times a week. And that's fine. It's a hobby as an adult. You don't have to be the best. I've been playing for 5 years. I'm certainly not as good as Crystal down there. She didn't say it yet. I'm going to say it for her. She's on Team Texas. She's one of very few skaters who represent the whole state. She is amazing. I've played for not nearly as long as her, but not a small amount of time either. I'm never going to be that good, and that's okay. I just love it, and I love playing. And so if you're interested in joining, like, please don't feel like you need to be a skater already, have a lot, know how to play this game. We teach the fundamentals, we teach you the rules. We'll get you in shape, and then, it's just fun. And I like to think we're a fun group. Normally, in non-COVID times, we do a lot of things together. We go skating outside a lot, outside of practices. We do a lot of fundraisers together. We do a lot of volunteer work. We do a lot of stuff as a group. And so it is really just a nice community, and joining can mean whatever you want it to. So that's what I would say.
For sure. Really quickly, let's crash course here. What exactly does a sport entail? I know people watch it, might be confusing or whatever. Maybe we should have done this at the start of the show. Whatever, we're doing it now. Let's see. What does it entail? Give us a crash course for viewers, to the laymen who may not know what it entails.
So people think that it's all just elbows and punches and tripping and pulling hair. It's definitely not. It's a full contact sport with rules. There's a case, a scenario with all the rules. But if I could try my hardest to not elaborate too much, I would say there's 5 players on the track from each team. One of them is the one that scores the points. Her position is a jammer. So you'll see her with a helmet cover that has a star or a certain symbol. So anyway, so she starts behind a line, right? Here's a line, here's the jammers. So you have your blockers in front of that line. And so what their goal is to get their player through, their jammer through, while preventing the other jammer from getting past. So it's a bunch of defense and offense all at the same time. So right when the whistle blows, my goal as a jammer is to get through. On the overlap, every opponent I pass from the other team's a point. So you have 2 minutes to score as many points as you can. However, being the first jammer, you get lead, and it's a privilege to stop the play soon. So you basically want to have your girl out first before the other one. Mind you, there's penalties. Mind you, there's people that go to the box and you start short, it's intense and awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of organized chaos there. Well, yes, exactly. But I mean, what do you guys? Right now, just what is the league doing? Stuff. I know you guys are very active on social media. I mean, just what do you guys right now? During COVID, what are you trying to do? For league's sake, anything you guys are doing specifically?
There's marketing that still needs to be done. We're trying to fundraise because majority of our, I guess, money we can make is through home games that we produce ourselves. So from selling tickets to selling, whatever merch that we do have. And we plan to have a certain amount of games in one season, possibly profiting a certain amount. And now we don't have that income coming in because of COVID. So, it does, get us a little here and there, but we just got to keep on keeping on,
And for right now, we do have some posters available for sale, as well as some merch packages. So things like koozies, stickers, lanyards, buttons, stuff like that for sale. So if anybody's interested.
Awesome. Where can we find you guys? Check you guys out, social medias and stuff. Go.
RGV Bandidas website. RGVBandidas.com is one of them. You can check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, on what else do we have, guys? Instagram.
Every social media, we have it. Just look up RGV Bandidas. And yeah. So again, we do have that fundraiser going on. You do get a package. It's a $20 package. You get 2 koozies, a lanyard. You get your sticker. What am I leaving out? I know I'm leaving something out. Oh, the 2 buttons. Yes. And just to give y'all a little bit of info. So the fundraiser. So obviously we do have to pay for the locations that we're using for practice and for games. So we do pay, and it's not a lot. Don't even worry. We do have our dues. It's like we're splitting the cost to rent our practice facilities. And so when we have our games, obviously, that income will go towards wherever location we decide to rent out or whatever. And also at the end of the year, we do have a big Christmas party. So we don't have anything going on right now. We can't even practice right now. We don't have any income. So, that's, if you decide to help us out for this fundraiser, that's where the funds will be going, just so when we come back, we have those spots. Those spots are already locked down. It's paid for still, we're not going broke. Like, oh my God, how are we going to pay for practice facilities? Things like that, So that's what you'd be helping us out with.
For sure. Awesome. So you guys heard it. Go check them out, RGV Bandidas. And ladies, I appreciate you guys for giving me the time and being here today. This was fun. So, just appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys are staying safe, and I hope to see you guys really soon out there.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. We hope we get out there pretty soon as well. And then also shout out to the Women's Football League. I watched your video the other day, the version, the same kind of setup as this. you guys are awesome. And like when this is all over, we'd love to come see you guys too, because like
Yes.
supporting women's sports in the Valley is really important and stuff. So hit us up and so we can exchange information on the Facebook.
For sure. Awesome. And on that note, we're going to wrap things up, guys. I'm Mark Melendez of Real Sports Live. This is Crystal, Nikki, and Sabrina, the RGV Bandidas members. And guys, we have one more show, Billy Watson. He's coming up at 5 o'clock to wrap up our Wednesday shows. But we'll be back with another slate on Friday. And check us out at 1, 3, and 5 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Check us out on our social media, realsportslive.com, and that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have our live channel restreaming our re-airs on YouTube, Roku Network, and Apple TV. So just check us out there. And girls, once again, thank you for joining us, and have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye, thanks.